Billionaire's secret muse, rewriting our destiny. Chapter 1. My boyfriend just won a $10 million lottery. And the first thing he did? He looked me in the eye and told me I was too poor for him. He completely forgot that he had been leeching off this poor girl for an entire year. But as fate would have it, that very same day, I ran into a handsome guy who was in the exact same boat. His girlfriend had just dumped him for being broke. We decided to crash together and share a place. It wasn't until I saw his name on the Billionaire Forbes list that I realized I had accidentally picked up a golden husband. When I got home from work, Austin was lying on the sofa playing video games. The floor around him was covered in trash. Empty takeout containers were piled high on the coffee table. The place was a total disaster. He hadn't even left a single bite of food for me. I frowned automatically and stood right in front of him. "How did the job interview go yesterday?" Austin's eyes stayed glued to his screen. He didn't even look up. "Babe, the results aren't out yet." Another excuse. Every time he looked for a job, it was always the same. Either the HR department hadn't gotten back to him, or he would work for a few days and quit, saying it wasn't a good fit. He had been freeloading like this for a whole year. Rent, electricity, water, I had to pay for absolutely everything. And his excuse was always the same: once I start working and get paid, I'll cover everything. How could I let my babe suffer? In the beginning, when he first lost his job, he actually did chores. He would wash the clothes, clean the rooms, and make dinner while waiting for me to come home. We had been together for 3 years. I used to comfort myself by thinking that if I had to be the breadwinner, he could just handle the house. But over the past month, he had gotten worse. He did absolutely nothing. He just lay around playing games all day. I would come home exhausted from work and still have to clean up his trash. "Austin, we need to talk." "For real?" I said, my voice dropping. He was still entirely focused on his game. "Let me finish this match. We're about to win. We're hitting their base right now." I snatched the phone right out of his hands. Using every ounce of my remaining sanity, I slammed it face down on the table instead of smashing it. If I broke it, I'd probably be the one paying for a new one anyway. He suddenly jumped up and roared at me. "What the hell are you doing? You are so damn annoying." In that instant, a wave of bitterness hit me. My eyes welled up with tears. He never used to be like this. Before, he couldn't even bear to say a single harsh word to me. Maybe Austin realized he had gone too far. He stood up and put his arm around my shoulder. "Babe, don't cry. It's my fault. You haven't eaten yet, right? I'll go make you some pasta. The HR results really do come out tomorrow. Today was just my last time slacking off. If it bothers you so much, I won't play anymore." He always apologized so quickly. And every single time, I softened up. I kept remembering how good he used to be to me. "And what if you don't get the job this time? Will you just keep playing games?" "If I don't get it this time, I'll go deliver Amazon packages or do DoorDash. I won't stay idle anymore. To be honest, this past year has been miserable for me too. I feel so guilty spending your money. I need to step up and take responsibility." I thought to myself, fine. One last time. I'll trust him one last time. Chapter 2. The next day, Austin actually got a call from HR and went to work. But on his 3rd day there, my company announced mass layoffs. Unluckily, my name was on the list. On my miserable walk home, I spotted a back that looked exactly like Austin's. He was supposed to be at work right now. I walked over to get a closer look. It really was him. "What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at work?" Austin's eyes darted around shiftily. "Babe, you're off work early today." Then he turned right back to the digital board inside the lottery shop. He was staring intensely at the winning numbers being drawn. When the final number flashed on the screen, his face erupted into pure ecstasy. I glanced at the ticket in his hand. He had won $10 million. I let out a huge sigh of relief. At least we wouldn't have to stress about next month's rent anymore. The company isn't doing well. I just got laid off. You got laid off? He narrowed his eyes and glared at me. Are you seeing that I just won the lottery and making up a lie on purpose? You just want to parasite off my money, don't you? I was completely stunned. Austin, you didn't work for a whole year, and I never said a word to you. Now my company is having trouble, I get laid off, and you accuse me of targeting your money? Do you think I'm a psychic who knew you'd win today? You women are all so damn materialistic, he sneered. You held it in all this time, didn't you? Now that you see I'm rich, you start digging up the past. What money did I even spend of yours? The apartment? Even if I wasn't living here, you'd still have to pay rent. And the food we ate? Cheap garbage. How much could it have possibly cost? My hands went completely numb with rage. Some people really do flip faster than pages in a book. They say money changes a man, but this guy was a straight-up monster. Austin, have some decency. Did I eat any better or live any better than you? If I were materialistic, I would have dumped you a long time ago. You were the one who promised to step up and change. I believed you, and this is how you treat me? Ha! But I have luck on my side. See? I always knew I was destined to be rich. I've been sick of you bossing me around anyway. Every time I play a game, you bitch about it. And you're always counting pennies over every tiny thing. You look so cheap and miserable. We're done. Let's break up. Go to hell. I was so furious that I raised my hand to slap him. But Austin caught my wrist tightly. Don't push me to hit a woman. In a few days, I'll transfer that pocket change back to you. He shoved my hand away, turned on his heel, and walked off without looking back. What a cursed day. My job and my relationship, both gone in an instant. Chapter 3. I collapsed onto the curb in despair. Right then, I noticed another breakup happening just a few feet away. A woman was screaming at her boyfriend. Look at you, you broke loser. I should have dumped you ages ago. I wasted so much time on you. I could easily find a rich sugar daddy right now. At first, I thought this woman was in the same position I had been in. I looked at the guy. He was tall, sharp-featured, and incredibly handsome, like a top-tier model. So he wasn't a bad guy either? Was it true that all men were just trash? The guy looked incredibly hurt and vulnerable, like a stray puppy left on the street. Chloe, since we started dating, I know I haven't been super rich. But whenever it was your birthday, I did everything I could to get you whatever you wanted. You kept telling me your family was sick, begging for cash over and over. I've Venmo'd you at least $15,000 total. I can honestly say I never mistreated you within my means. If you really think I can't satisfy you, go find your rich guy. Hearing this, I realized this guy was the exact same kind of fool I was. Chloe just sneered at him with total contempt. Look at how pathetic you are. Who else would ever want you besides me? I'm the only one who stuck by you for 2 years while you hid in that tiny room like an autistic freak. You look like a ghost. So what if I spent some of your money? Who else would even bother spending your money? Wow. She was straight up gaslighting him. She was even worse than Austin. At least Austin's fake promises were somewhat digestible back then. Maybe it was because the post-breakup empathy was hitting me too hard, but I walked right over, grabbed the guy's arm, and held it tight. Who says nobody wants him? He's gorgeous. I want him. Wow, Ethan. Not bad, Chloe snapped, looking shocked. Turns out you already had a side chick lined up. Fine, we're done. Consider that 15 grand my compensation for the years of my youth you wasted. She threw her head back and strutted away arrogantly. That left me and Ethan standing there, staring at each other. I awkwardly let go of his arm. You don't mind me poking my nose into your business, right? He looked down at me and shook his head. No. I was actually planning to break up with her for good today anyway. Thank God. He hadn't been completely brainwashed. Just as I turned to leave, he caught my arm. His clear, intense eyes locked onto mine. Did you mean it when you said you wanted me? I choked on my words. Was it my destiny in this life to never escape supporting men? He was definitely way better looking than Austin, but Austin had drained my bank account completely dry. Austin said he would transfer my money back, but who knew how long that would take? Look, handsome, I'd love to, but right now I'm so broke I can't even afford next month's rent. Ethan spoke up earnestly. I can split the rent with you. This guy really didn't learn his lesson, did he? Offering money to a stranger just like that. But I didn't have the guts to just take a random guy home either. I can cook, do laundry, and clean, Ethan added quickly. My best dishes are barbecue ribs, honey soy chicken wings, and garlic eggplant. Wait. Every single one of his best dishes happened to be my absolute favorite. What's the catch? What do you want from me? I asked, completely bewildered. The money I have on me right now isn't enough to rent my old place alone. My landlord just kicked me out. And I just overheard your conversation, you were screwed over by a jerk too. Two souls in the same boat. Plus, he was offering rent and cooking. For someone who was flat broke, nothing was scarier than being homeless. Fine. You handle the cooking and cleaning. But you have to come with me to the landlord to register your name as a co-tenant, and you pay exactly half the rent. If he turned out to be a serial killer, at least the landlord would know who to call the cops on. Luckily, my apartment had 2 bedrooms and a living room. I usually did some freelance writing at night and hated being disturbed, so I needed total quiet. I could easily clean out the spare room for him. I found out Ethan did programming, though I didn't really understand the technical details. That evening, after setting everything up, I tasted Ethan's cooking. It was my first time eating his food, but it tasted incredibly familiar. He was so good at it. Every dish tasted exactly like my mom's cooking. My mom was a legendary cook, but I was completely useless in the kitchen and could never replicate her recipes. After dinner, we both retreated to our own rooms. Chapter 4. Late at night, I suddenly really needed to use the bathroom. Out of pure habit, I just pushed the door open. And right there, under the running shower head, was Ethan. Water was cascading down a perfect set of 8-pack abs, tracing its way down his body. Ah! I let out a sharp scream. Some water droplets splashed onto me. My pajamas got damp and instantly turned semi-transparent. Ethan froze in shock, a deep crimson blush spreading from his face all the way down his neck. He quickly turned around, grabbed a towel, and wrapped it securely around his waist. I immediately went on the defensive to cover my embarrassment. Why didn't you close the door? His face was bright red, looking completely wronged. But the door was closed. You didn't even knock. I froze, realizing my mistake. I had been the reckless one. I'm just used to living alone. But you should lock it when you shower. He scratched his head, his face flushing even darker. I'm used to living alone too. He dried his hair with the towel. I'm pretty much done anyway. You can use it. With that, he walked out of the bathroom. After using the toilet, I went back to my room. Maybe it was the visual stimulation from Ethan, but sudden inspiration struck me. I immediately started writing a web novel, using him as the main character. Since I was unemployed now, I had to hustle on my side gig. By the time I finished writing, it was already past 11 p.m. A soft knock came from my door. "Do you want some midnight snacks?" Ethan's gentle voice called out. Hearing that made my stomach growl. I really was hungry. I uploaded the new chapter and opened the door. "What did you make?" Ethan set a bowl of noodles in front of me. The presentation easily rivaled any high-end restaurant. It looked incredibly appetizing. Scallion oil noodles. I gasped in delight. This is my absolute favorite. I looked at him. "Ethan, are you a mind reader? Everything you cook is exactly what I love the most. Just assume I am. Eat up before it gets cold." He looked at me and smiled. His eyes looked like they held a galaxy of stars, soft, bright, and incredibly warm. His face was so clean and handsome, and his body, well, he looked entirely edible. Seeing him like this, the images of me walking in on him in the bathroom combined with the spicy scenes I had just written in my novel flashed through my mind. My face burned with heat. I quickly lowered my head and stuffed my mouth with noodles to hide it. These noodles were heavenly. Sharing an apartment with Ethan was the best deal I had ever made. Chapter 5. A few days later, I received a notification about a college class reunion. Austin and I were in the same graduating class, so going meant I would definitely run into him. I really didn't want to see his face. Losing a 3-year relationship hurt, and I'd be lying if I said I was completely over it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent months ignoring all his red flags. Turns out I had given my whole heart to a dog. I had already wasted my youth on him. I wasn't going to let him keep my money too. He had promised to return the money, but there hadn't been a single notification. I needed to confront him in person. A guy like Austin who loved showing off would definitely use his lottery win to act like a big shot at the reunion. On the day of the reunion, before I even walked into the private dining hall, I heard them talking about me inside. "Hey Austin, where's Jade?" "Yeah, you guys used to be attached at the hip. Is she not coming today?" I didn't hear anything. Then, I watched the door open. Chloe, the exact same woman who had gaslighted Ethan that day, walked right into the room. She went straight over to Austin. Wow. Talk about a small world. She said she was going to find a rich sugar daddy, and she actually did. Of all the millionaires in the world, she picked Austin. Austin wrapped his arm tightly around Chloe's waist, looking incredibly smug. "Don't talk nonsense, guys. Jade and I broke up. Chloe is my babe now. She'll be upset if she hears you mentioning my ex." I literally wanted to vomit. I wished I could erase every single time he had ever called me babe. Someone finally spotted me at the door. "Oh, Jade. You're here." Instantly, the entire room fell dead silent. Everyone stared at me. The atmosphere turned incredibly awkward. I ignored their looks, walked right in, and chose a seat that was the absolute furthest away from Austin. I said nonchalantly, "Yeah, we broke up 3 days ago." The implication was crystal clear. We broke up 3 days ago, and he had already jumped into a new relationship without missing a beat. The people at the table didn't dare say it out loud, but whispers broke out instantly. Back in college, Austin had begged and pleaded desperately to date me. He had sung under my dorm window and confessed his love over the campus microphone while serving a detention. The entire school knew how hard he chased me. If he hadn't been so good at playing the romantic, I wouldn't have been blinded by him for so long. As time went on, I had cared for him more and more, becoming entirely too forgiving. But he had turned into a complete monster. Chloe scrutinized me for a few seconds, then let out a sharp laugh. "Oh, please. Aren't you doing the exact same thing, sweetie? Don't think I forgot. You already found yourself a rebound too. I realized Chloe had recognized me. Whatever. We were broken up anyway, arguing about this was entirely pointless. But when Austin heard that I had found someone else, his face twisted in anger, and he glared straight at me. Jade. You really got a new boyfriend already? Ha, I let out a dry laugh. Rules for thee but not for me? What does my life have to do with you? So you admit it. You changed a long time ago, didn't you? And you still played the victim to make it look like I wronged you. You are so calculating. Oh my God. I completely underestimated his ability to gaslight and flip the narrative. I was only here for one thing, my money. I had zero interest in arguing with him. We're here for a reunion today. Let's not make everyone uncomfortable with our relationship drama. But speaking of the past year, you owe me a lot of money. You ate my food and lived in my place, and you promised you'd pay me back. It's been days and you haven't mentioned a word. You're a man of your word, right? Austin was incredibly obsessed with his pride. The moment I said that in front of everyone, his face turned completely purple. He whipped out his phone immediately and Venmo'd me $5,000. He snapped furiously, "Check your phone. I've just been busy and forgot. Keep the change, I don't need it back. I was just going through a rough patch before, but it was resolved yesterday. I'm not a deadbeat who owes you anything. And tonight's entire dinner is on me." What a brilliant move. Calling his freeloading a rough patch. He wanted everyone to think I had dumped him because he was poor. Not a deadbeat? He had ignored all my texts, which was exactly why I had to force his hand like this. Chloe chimed in with a fake, sugary voice, "Babe, you've had it so rough." She didn't understand you at all. I will never treat you like that. Watching the two of them put on a show literally made me laugh out loud. You two really deserve each other. Have a wonderful life together. I accepted the $5,000 on my phone. If I really cared about money, I wouldn't have let you live off me for a whole year while you did absolutely nothing. Austin, have a conscience. You were the one who dumped me. I won't be eating the food you bought. It makes me sick. Everyone, please excuse me. We can catch up individually later. With that, I turned around and walked out. Chapter 6. The moment I stepped out of the hotel lobby, I saw Ethan. He was standing right under a blooming cherry blossom tree, wearing a crisp, clean white shirt. What are you doing here? Ethan pulled a pack of tissues from his bag and handed one to me. Wipe your eyes. I'm not crying. The wind blew dust into your eyes. I know. I took the tissue. But why are you here? I had a business meeting with someone, and it happened to be at this hotel. We just finished, and then I saw you. I figured we could share Uber back to save money. Wow, you really know how to budget. Let's go. But he didn't actually move. He paused and looked at me. Have you eaten yet? I shook my head. The signature roast duck at this hotel is supposed to be amazing. Want to try it? Thinking about the $5,000 I had just recovered, I figured I could definitely treat myself to a massive feast. Let's go. My treat. I'm rich today. I led Ethan back into a separate private dining room. After we ate our fill, we walked out of the restaurant, only to run straight into Austin and his group who had just finished their dinner too. The crowd looked at the four of us, sensing the intense tension in the air. Jade. Is this your new boyfriend? He is so hot. What's your name, handsome? One of my old close friends from college shouted out. Instantly, dozens of eyes locked onto Ethan. My friend leaned in close to my ear and whispered, "Oh my God, thank heaven you left." Austin and Chloe were so obnoxious during dinner I couldn't even swallow a bite. I secretly celebrated my genius decision. I had eaten so well just now. He's not. Ethan cut me off smoothly, introducing himself to my friend with a polite nod. Right then, some people in the crowd who loved drama started chanting. Jade, we haven't seen each other in 2 years since graduation. We're all going to karaoke next. Everyone is splitting the bill, so it's totally fair. They explicitly specified everyone was paying their own share so I wouldn't feel awkward about Austin paying. Everyone joined in the cheering. If I refused, it would look incredibly rude. I had no choice but to follow them to the KTV. Inside the large karaoke room, people started ordering drinks and singing. I pulled Ethan to a quiet corner and sat down. Babe, let's sing a duet. I ordered for the rest of my life. Let's sing it together. Chloe squeaked, grabbing the microphone and pulling Austin up. Austin's eyes immediately shot over to me before he raised the mic to start singing. Actually, ever since Ethan had shown up, Austin's eyes had been darting over to me non-stop. For the rest of my life, He had sung that song to me countless times before. Why was he looking at me? Did he want to see me cry or cause a scene? The moment I accepted that $5,000, my past relationship was completely dead and buried. What's wrong? Still sad over that piece of trash? A low, slightly grumpy voice echoed right next to my ear. I turned to look at Ethan. His handsome face looked distinctly annoyed. Was he upset because of his ex-girlfriend? I decided to lift his spirits, raising my shot glass. You're the one who can't forget that toxic girl. We need to look forward. Come on, let's drink to this. May we never encounter trash like them ever again. Ethan's face broke into a gorgeous smile, his eyes curving like crescent moons. He clinked his glass against mine. It's a deal then. No more being sad. Chapter 7. After a few drinks, I needed to use the restroom. When I walked out of the bathroom stall, I found Austin leaning against the hallway wall, smoking a cigarette. I tried to walk right past him, but he grabbed my hand tightly. Jade. Don't call my name. A wave of intense disgust hit me. I forcefully slapped his hand away. He was literally parading another woman around as his girlfriend tonight, calling her babe every 2 seconds, and now he was doing this? When I said we should break up that day, I was just acting on impulse. We've been together for so many years. I couldn't possibly just let you go. Hearing that actually made me laugh out loud. How could a human being be this delusional? Before today, my love for him had vanished, leaving only regret for wasting my time. But hearing him say this now made me feel physically sick. My disgust was absolute. I sneered coldly, "Oh, you couldn't let me go? Is that why you found a new girl the very next day? Your precious babe is sitting right inside that room, and you're out here saying this to me?" But Austin completely lacked self-awareness. He couldn't even perceive my sarcasm. You're just jealous, aren't you? I can dump her right now. A woman like her can't even compare to you. Why don't you turn around and tell her that yourself? I pointed toward Chloe, who was already standing right behind him. Austin froze. Even if she's here, I'd still say the same. Chloe's voice instantly erupted in tears. Austin. How dare you? Is this really what you think of me? Austin finally realized I wasn't bluffing. His face flushed with pure embarrassment. I had zero interest in their pathetic drama. I turned to walk away. But Chloe's brain worked in bizarre ways. She lunged forward and grabbed my arm, refusing to let go. You must have seduced him. You saw that he's rich now and you regret letting him go, don't you? Exactly. Babe, I was just temporarily brainwashed by her just now. Austin jumped on the excuse immediately, throwing the blame entirely onto me. I knew it. Jade, how can you be so shameless? You already have Ethan, and you're still throwing yourself at Austin. Do you have to steal every single man of mine? As she screamed, she raised her hand to slap me across the face. I caught her wrist mid-air with lightning speed and squeezed it hard. Get this straight. You're the one who can't keep a leash on your dog. I have zero interest in him. Even if he begged me on his knees, I would never take him back. Only a dumpster diver like you would treat a piece of garbage like a prize. And as for Ethan? You were just too blind to see what you had. Ah. It hurts. Let go of me. Chloe screamed. Seeing this, Austin stepped forward, raising his fist to hit me. But before he could touch me, Ethan appeared out of nowhere. With a brutal shove, Ethan slammed Austin violently against the wall. Ethan usually looked so gentle and sophisticated, but his strength was terrifying. Austin couldn't move an inch. Raising your hand against a woman? Are you even a man? Ethan's voice was deathly low and chillingly cold. She was the one who seduced Austin. She's a shameless bitch. Why shouldn't I hit her? Chloe shrieked from the side. Ethan's face darkened completely. He snapped his head toward Chloe. In that second, I felt even more anxious than when Austin had cornered me. Would Ethan believe me? Or would he take his ex-girlfriend's side? I know Jade would never do that, Ethan said, his voice absolute. Chloe, watch your mouth. You should be glad I'm not like him. I don't beat women. A rush of pure joy flooded my heart. Being unconditionally trusted felt incredible. He threw Austin aside, grabbed my hand, and led me straight out of the KTV. He pulled me along for a long time without saying a single word. Are you mad? I asked softly. When he cornered you, you should have texted me immediately. What if I hadn't come out to check on you? What if something happened? Hearing the intense anxiety in his voice, I looked up. Why are you helping me so much? He stared at me for a long time. Finally, he spoke. You gave me a home when I was homeless. Of course I'll help you. Oh. So it was just because of that. Chapter 8. Ever since we got back from that night, the vibe between Ethan and me shifted. He seemed perfectly normal, cooking 3 meals a day for me, preparing midnight snacks. The problem was entirely me. Maybe it was because I was using him as the main character in my web novel, but I found myself daydreaming about him constantly. My thoughts were turning entirely scandalous. The most unexpected twist happened next. My novel suddenly blew up. The platform started pushing it aggressively. It was trending everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and various fiction forums. Seeing my own story everywhere absolutely terrified me. If Ethan ever found out, what would he think of me? He'd think I was a total pervert. During dinner, I started testing the waters carefully. Have you seen anything weird online lately? Like, something you shouldn't have seen? The moment Ethan heard this, his ears flushed bright red. Oh no. He definitely saw it. Fortunately, I used a pen name, so he probably didn't know it was me. Otherwise, how could I ever face him again? How could I keep eating his delicious cooking without dying of shame? The barbecue ribs tonight were so good. I didn't mean to look when I was in the bathroom. Those strawberry panties. I didn't touch them. Oh. He hadn't seen my novel. Thank God. Wait. What? The realization hit me like a lightning bolt. I bolted from my chair and ran straight into the bathroom. There, sitting right in the basin, were my favorite strawberry embroidered panties. Oh my God. I had stayed up way too late writing last night. After my shower, I had been so groggy I just dropped them there and went straight to sleep. Jade, finish your food first, Ethan's gentle voice called out from the dining room. I shoved them into the cabinet instantly, took a few deep breaths to calm down, and walked back out. Sitting at the table, I scrambled for an explanation. I'm usually not that messy. I was just exhausted last night. He looked at me and smiled again. But that smile clearly said, I don't believe you. After dinner, we sat on the sofa scrolling through our phones. After a while, a look of distinct awkwardness flashed across Ethan's face. I couldn't help but peek at his screen. A powerful instinct told me, he's reading my novel. Oh my god. He really was reading it. And it was the most explicit chapter. The comments from the readers were so wild we should all be put on a federal watch list. Everyone was losing their minds in the comment section. Right then, my phone buzzed. A notification popped up showing someone had just joined my official Discord fan group. Username, Starry Sky. My gut told me this was Ethan. My phone suddenly felt like a hot potato. Should I approve the request? While I was hesitating, Ethan looked over at me. What are you reading so intensely? In my panic, my finger slipped and I accidentally clicked approve. Nothing. I just remembered I have some work to finish. Going back to my room. I bolted back to my bedroom. If I got exposed right in front of his face, I would literally dissolve. The Discord group was completely popping off. User 1, a male fan. We actually got a guy in here. Author, you've made it big. User 2, OMG, his name has star in it, just like the male lead. User 3, a handsome guy, post a selfie. Let us see if you're as perfect as the fictional Ethan. Starry Sky. Who is the author here? Can I add you privately? The hyperactive fans immediately tagged my account. He actually sent me a friend request. But after I accepted, he didn't type a single word. I let out a sigh of relief. Maybe he was just a regular male reader who wanted to connect. Suddenly, a Discord voice call flashed on my screen. I froze for a second before slamming the decline button. The next second, a knock came from my bedroom door. I cut up some fruit. Open the door. I opened the door. He was holding a fruit platter in one hand, and with his other hand, he pressed his phone screen again. My phone on the desk screen lit up instantly with an incoming call from Starry Sky. He looked down at me, slowly reading the words aloud. Author Nebula? Secretly falling for you? He used my pen name. Although his tone sounded questioning, the evidence was absolute. I stammered, Don't be mad. I didn't mean to. You just gave me so much inspiration. If you hate it, I can change the character's name right now. He set the fruit platter down, raising an eyebrow with an unreadable expression. Oh. You say I gave you inspiration? I shoved Ethan violently against the wall, gripping his jaw, and kissed him fiercely while my hands traced down his chest. Stop. Stop reading it out loud. This was the ultimate psychological torture. His voice dropped lower, sounding incredibly deep. So, whenever you look at me normally, this is what you're thinking about? I saw the chat group saying there are even crazier chapters available for Patreon members. Those damn readers. They really talked about absolutely everything. I could feel my entire face burning up. What do you want from me then? I really didn't mean any harm. I had been suffering from terrible writer's block before, but ever since I met him and used him as my muse, the words just flowed like magic. He suddenly grabbed my hand, guided it to his chin, and spoke with a dangerously seductive whisper. Instead of just writing about it, maybe practicing in real life would give you even better inspiration. The tension was so thick I couldn't back down now. You said it yourself. Don't regret it. I stood on my tiptoes and slammed my lips against his. He immediately locked his hand around the back of my head, deepening the kiss fiercely. By the time the kiss ended, my inspiration was completely overflowing. I shoved Ethan straight out of my room, slammed the door shut, and started typing furiously on my laptop. The book was officially signed and monetized now. I had to grind out the chapters. Using me and tossing me aside. "You heartless woman," Ethan's muffled, laughing voice came from outside the door. I smiled. Tonight's material was going to be epic. Chapter 9. I began contemplating whether I should officially ask Ethan to be my boyfriend. It felt a bit fast, but he possessed this magnetic pull over me. From the bizarre familiarity when we first met to the uncontrollable heartbeat whenever we were together now. While I was agonizing over it, I happened to be scrolling through the news and saw Ethan's name on a local billionaire tech list. Was it just someone with the same name? No way. If he was a billionaire, why on earth would he live in a shared apartment with me? And Chloe wouldn't have dumped him for being broke either. I clicked on the profile, and a biography popped up along with a professional headshot. It really was him. Just as I was about to read further, loud shouting erupted from the living room. "Ethan! I realized I still can't forget you. The entire time I was with Austin, I couldn't stop thinking about you." It was Chloe's voice. I threw my door open and saw Chloe grabbing Ethan's arm, begging him. Ethan forcefully ripped his arm out of her grip. "Chloe, coming here to say this to me now? Don't you think you're being incredibly fake? I mean it. I broke up with Austin. We were together for 2 years, how could 2 months with him ever replace what we had? You just saw the billionaire list, didn't you?" Ethan said coldly. Chloe choked on her words, her face turning completely pale. Ethan had hit the nail right on the head. "You acted broke when you were with me. Were you worried I was just after your money? Ethan, you are so devious. It's not like I treated you badly when we were together. Oh my God. This woman and Austin really belonged together. Their morals were a match made in heaven." I walked straight over, grabbed Ethan's hand, and smiled mockingly at her. "Did you happen to forget? He's my boyfriend now." Chloe glared at me with pure venom. "You accuse me of wanting his money, you think she doesn't?" Ethan spoke up, his tone dripping with arrogance. "Even if she wants my money, it's because she loves me. Why else wouldn't she go after someone else's money?" Wow. I didn't know Ethan could be this savage when he wanted to be. That is pure double standards. Chloe screamed. I didn't want to waste another second. "I'm just going to call Austin to come pick you up. Stop causing a scene in our home." "Don't call that loser. I already dumped him. He lost all his money in the stock market and he's begging everyone for loans right now. Don't let him know I'm here." Terrified that Austin might actually show up, Chloe finally bolted out the door. Once we were the only two left, I let go of Ethan's hand. "All right, billionaire Ethan. Care to explain what's going on? Otherwise, my tiny apartment won't be able to accommodate a giant god like you anymore." He looked at me, looking incredibly nervous for the first time. "I didn't mean to hide it from you. In the beginning, I really didn't have cash. But later, my stock investments took off, and the game I programmed suddenly became a massive global hit. The revenue surged overnight, and I just didn't know how to bring it up to you." A pang of sadness hit me. Did he hide it because he didn't trust me either? Was he worried I'd target his wealth? "Ethan, now that you're rich, you can move out into a massive mansion. My novel is selling incredibly well anyway, so I can easily afford this rent by myself." He reached out, grabbed my waist, and pulled me forcefully into his chest. "I'm not going anywhere. I came back to this city specifically to be with you. I never once thought you were after my money. Besides, you already kissed me. You like me. Let's not fight over this, okay? Let's just be together. I don't want us to miss our chance again." His words left me completely confused. We had never been together before. What did he mean by again? "Jade, I'm going to tell you something. You might think I'm insane, but it's the absolute truth." Chapter 10. Ethan looked into my eyes and told me that he had actually traveled back in time. He was reborn. According to his past life, he wasn't supposed to meet me until 2 years later, in the spring. It had been a torrential downpour, and he hadn't brought an umbrella. I had walked up and shared mine, shielding him all the way to his office building. As it turned out, his tech company wanted to option my web novel to adapt it into a video game. From that first umbrella encounter, he had fallen for me. He personally attended every single negotiation meeting just to see me. Eventually, he pursued me aggressively for 6 months before we officially started dating. In the beginning, we were blissfully happy. But a year into the relationship, he started secretly texting and hiding his phone because he was organizing a massive surprise marriage proposal. But because of the trauma from Austin's past betrayal, I had become hyper-insecure and suspicious. We had a massive, explosive fight over it. He figured everything would be resolved once he actually proposed and revealed the surprise. But before he could, he had to take a business flight. The plane suffered a catastrophic mechanical failure and crashed. In his final moments, his ultimate regret was that he never got to propose to me. He vowed that if he ever got a second chance, he would explain everything immediately. Perhaps the sheer force of his regret triggered a miracle, and he woke up back on the exact day Chloe dumped him. To his shock, he realized my path had intersected with his on that curb 2 years earlier than before. He actually had plenty of money to rent a luxury penthouse, but he desperately wanted to be near me as early as possible. He wanted to experience the years of my life he had missed. He didn't want me to suffer. The reason he knew how to cook all my favorite dishes with that exact flavor was because he had spent months learning them directly from my mom in his past life. He had practiced them countless times, planning to cook them for me on the night of the proposal. But he never got the chance. He came back to heal the wounds Austin had inflicted on my life. Hearing his story, tears streamed down my face uncontrollably. No wonder I felt that unexplainable familiarity the moment I saw him. No wonder I trusted him completely without reason. He could replicate my mom's secret recipes perfectly because he had actually knelt in her kitchen to learn them for me. He gently wiped my tears away with his thumb. "You believe me, right? I wanted to tell you so many times, but I was terrified you'd think I was a lunatic. But if you're going to push me away, I don't care about secrecy anymore." I threw my arms around Ethan's neck, holding him as tight as I could. "I believe you. I'll always believe you." That night, after we officially became a couple, I had a cascade of vivid dreams. At the end of the dream, I saw the horrifying plane crash. The sheer terror made me lose consciousness in the nightmare. I woke up gasping for air, my heart aching with real pain. I frantically reached out and felt Ethan lying safely right beside me. I let out a massive sigh of relief. Thank God. It was just a dream. He opened his eyes, pulling me close. "What's wrong?" "I had a terrible nightmare." "Ethan, we are going to stay together forever. No matter what." He kissed my forehead gently. "Of course we will. Go back to sleep, beautiful." From that day forward, we had each other for every meal, through every season. We would live out the rest of our lives perfectly together.